Ever feel like your brain's kind of running a marathon it never signed up for?
Right.
Like it's constantly buzzing and you're always on edge.
Oh, absolutely. That's the reality for so many of us these days.
I mean, seriously, 24/7, we are bombarded with information. It's like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah, exactly.
And today we're diving deep into why that happens.
Okay.
And more importantly, what we can do to, like, get a grip and take back control.
Sounds good.
And to guide us, we've got Daniel Levitin's book, The Organized Mind.
Oh, great book.
It's a fantastic read. It really digs into, like, the science of all this.
Yeah.
So, like, are we all just doomed to be overwhelmed? Or is there hope?
Well, Levitin doesn't think we're doomed, but he does highlight that there's a real disconnect between how our brains are wired and the world we live in.
Oh, I like that. Disconnect. It makes sense, though, right?
Yeah, he calls it cognitive overload.
Okay.
And essentially, it's like our brains evolved for a much simpler time.
Simpler how?
Well, think about our ancestors, hunter-gatherers. Their brains were wired to focus on, like, survival essentials.
Right. Where's the food?
Exactly. Where's the food? Where's the water?
Where are the saber-toothed tigers that are going to eat me?
Exactly. And how to make tools and shelter and all that.
Right.
But those were like a limited set of crucial data points, Today,
It's a different story.
it's a totally different story. We're drowning in emails and news and social media.
Oh, don't even get me started on social media.
Work deadlines, notifications popping up all the time. It's like a tsunami of information.
Yeah.
And our poor hunter-gatherer brains are just not equipped to deal with that kind of volume.
Right. So, like, that's why we feel so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But so what? Does it actually impact us?
Oh, it's not just a feeling. There are real consequences to this cognitive overload.
Right.
But think about it. Have you ever found yourself, struggling to focus on a task?
Oh, all the time. Like, what was I just doing?
Right. Or you make like impulsive decisions because you're just trying to get through the day.
Ugh.
Or just feeling stressed and exhausted all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, those are all signs that this information overload is taking its toll.
So it's not just in my head. It's really impacting me.
It's really impacting you because essentially it depletes our cognitive resources,
Yeah.
our mental energy.
So we have less brain power for, like, the stuff that actually matters.
Exactly. So less for creativity and deep thinking and problem solving.
Okay, so we get it. It's a problem. But what can we do about it?
Well, that's the good news. Levitin offers a whole toolbox of strategies to help us regain control.
Give me the tools.
And it all starts with understanding how our brains work and then working with them, not against them.
Okay, I like that.
So one of his key suggestions is this idea of externalizing information.
Externalizing. What does that mean?
Basically, instead of trying to keep everything in your head, you offload it to external systems.
You mean like writing things down?
Exactly. To-do lists, calendars, notes.
Okay.
It's like your brain is for processing information, not storing it.
Right, it's not a hard drive.
Exactly. And when you write things down, it's like you free up all this mental space.
It's funny you say that. I always feel so much lighter after a good brain dump onto a to-do list.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like a physical relief, right?
Yeah, totally.
And then you can focus more on, the thinking, the creating, the problem solving.
the fun stuff.
Exactly.
So to-do list, got it.
But it's not just lists. Levitin also talks about the importance of categorization.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, our brains naturally categorize information to make sense of the world.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So the idea is to use that same principle to organize your physical and digital spaces. Folders, labels, color coding, whatever works for you.
So it's like, instead of fighting my brain, I should work with
Exactly. You're basically leveraging your brain's natural tendencies.
it. That's so cool. All right, so we've decluttered our minds, but now how do we actually focus?
Focus. The holy grail of productivity, right?
Yeah, because I struggle with that, especially with, the million distractions around us.
Right, and we've all been told that multitasking is the key, juggling all the things at once.
Oh, I'm the queen of multitasking, or at least I thought I was.
But Levitin debunks that myth. He explains that every time you switch between tasks, your brain has to reorient itself. And that takes time and energy.
So it's not actually efficient.
Not at all. In fact, it actually increases the likelihood of making mistakes.
So, like, checking my email while I'm writing a report is actually making me less productive.
In the long run, yes.
Ouch.
Yeah, so Levitin is a big advocate for single tasking.
Single tasking, like just doing one thing at a time.
Exactly, focusing on one thing until it's done and then moving on to the next.
But what about all those like urgent things that pop up? Emails and messages and phone calls.
That's where being intentional with your attention comes in.
Okay, how do I do that?
So Levitin suggests designating specific times for checking email and messages.
Oh,
So you can, fully focus on other tasks without that constant interruption.
Oh, I see.
And then create a distraction-free environment,
Yeah.
Turn off notifications.
Yeah, I can see how that would help.
Put your phone away. Even noise-canceling headphones.
Okay, I like this.
Whatever it takes to really hone in.
All right, so we're externalizing, we're single tasking. What about that feeling of like brain drain?
Ah, yes, decision fatigue.
Yes, it's real.
It's a real thing, because every decision we make, even the small ones, they drain our cognitive energy.
This is why I order takeout instead of cooking at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Brain's just fried.
Brain's fried. No more decisions.
Yeah.
And Levitin's advice here is to streamline your routine decisions.
Okay.
Build habits, create systems, automate where possible. Like, think of it like Steve Jobs, Always wearing that black turtleneck.
Oh, right.
He eliminated one decision from his day.
I never thought about it like that.
It's freeing up brain power for the more important choices.
That's a great point. Okay, so what about memory? I feel like mine is getting worse by the day.
Oh, yeah, that's a common concern.
Like, I can't remember anything.
But actually, it's a perfectly normal phenomenon.
Really?
Yeah, Levitin points out that human memory is inherently fallible.
Fallible? What does that mean?
Well, it means it's not perfect.
Okay, well, I knew that.
But specifically, it's context dependent. So you're more likely to remember something in the same environment where you learned it.
Oh, interesting.
And it's also prone to errors and distortions.
So, our memories are kind of making stuff up.
In a way, yes.
That's kind of scary.
But it's just how our brains work. So the takeaway is, don't rely solely on your memory.
Okay, so what should I do?
Write things down, set reminders, use checklists.
So it's like giving our brains a break.
Exactly. Offload some of that burden, free up some space.
Speaking of breaks, can we talk about downtime? Because even after doing all of this, I still feel exhausted.
Oh, absolutely. Downtime is essential. And it's often neglected in our always-on culture.
Yeah, for sure. Like more coffee is the solution,
Yeah.
right?
Not necessarily. Levitin emphasizes the importance of sleep,
Okay, I know I need more sleep.
exercise,
Exercise.
and even short breaks throughout the day.
So that afternoon slump might be a sign to, actually step away from the computer.
Exactly. Your brain needs time to process information subconsciously,
Okay.
and that's often when those aha moments happen, those creative breakthroughs.
So downtime is not just about resting, it's about letting my brain do its thing.
Exactly.
I like that. So should I be scheduling downtime in my calendar?
That's a great idea. Treat it like any other important appointment.
Okay, so this is a lot to take in, but it's also kind of empowering. Knowing that there are things we can do to regain control.
It is. It's about understanding your brain and working with it, not against it.
I love that. So listeners, what's one thing you're going to try today to give yourself some mental breathing room? Because a calm and organized mind is a powerful mind.
Absolutely.
And that's it for this deep dive. Catch you next time.
See ya.